Hey, what's up? So today we're gonna weld up the exhaust. But before I do that, I'm gonna upgrade the cooling system a little bit. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you what I'm doing. So over here I have one blowy spinny boy. It's a Hayden Rapid Cool 16-inch electric fan. Now the cheap $10 eBay 10-inch fans or 12-inch fans. I don't remember the exact diameter of them. Never measured them. But the fans that I have in the car now, in the pusher puller style setup, a fan on each side of the radiator. One's pushing, one's pulling air through it. They've always done just fine. I've never really had an actual issue with them, but I've never really been a fan of a pusher puller setup, and I did just want to get one big fan. So yeah, this is what I got. So I didn't actually plan on getting this. I went to O'Reilly's, which is where I got this from, and originally I was just going to get an air cleaner stud, which I got, and the little clips to hold a fan like this onto a radiator. But let's see, asking about that led to asking about their e-fans they had in stock. And I asked if they had a Spall fan because that's what I was originally looking at. But looking at the price differences between the Spall fan online and then this one with the military discount, which O'Reilly's does, the difference was about $14. The cheapest Spall fan online, I think it was from Summit Racing. I'm not 100% sure, but if you Google Spall fan, it should pop up. The cheapest one is $74, and then this one after military discount was $60. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out and show you the fan itself. Try and do this one hand, and there it is. Yeah, it's a 16-inch fan. I have tested it, and I also put some little connectors on it too, so I can actually install it. And it actually blows pretty hard. Now I was just holding it in hand, so I couldn't really hold it for very long. It's a pretty strong fan. Had a lot of kick to it, just holding it by hand and having it spin. But yeah, enough of me blabbing on. I'm gonna go ahead and remove my fans and install this one. Okay, so fans are out now, and here's a kind of a side-by-side comparison. So these two spinny boys, $10 cheap eBay fans. I think they're like 10 bucks each. Not bad for the money, especially for the result that I got with them. But compared to this one big spinny boy, I kind of like this one better. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that now. Okay, so Hayden fan is now installed, and it was pretty simple and straightforward. Nothing really hard at all about it. So I didn't touch it all earlier on the mounting kit that it comes with, but the kit that it comes with has these little I don't want to call them clips. I don't know what you call them, but I guess fan mounting clips. We'll just call them that. They come with those. They come with these little cushion things in the back. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. That little cushion thing that's behind the whatever the fuck you'd call that goes on the thing that goes through the radiator. I don't know what any of this shit's called. What the fuck? Also on the other side, it comes with these springs. So that just gives a little bit more tension, so it holds it on there in place, and gives a little bit of wiggle room, I guess you can say. I don't know the exact purpose of the spring. I don't think you really actually need it, but it's good that it has them, and I installed it with it. Now the fan is a little big for the radiator. It actually goes all the way down past the bottom of it and into the oil cooler. The bottom ones are actually mounted through the oil cooler down there. Now don't mind these wires. These are for the old fan that was over here. So those are going to come out. Then all I got to do is connect these wires up. Then I already have everything wired for it. So my wiring is a little bit messy, but the way I did this, so the positive has a inline fuse, a 30 amp. You can just go pick these up as is from a parts store. Got this at Advanced Auto. Then my wiring goes all the way through down here to this little relay. But there it is. And yeah, just have everything wired into that, and then through that have it wired into a switch. Now I forgot to unlock my door, but right, here's my finger, right there. So I just flip that switch on and off, and the fan comes on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and connect these up, and then flip the switch, and I'll show you. Well, I guess you can hear how it blows. You can't really feel how it blows, but pretty sure it's going to be one blowy boy. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, wires are connected, battery's connected. Now we're going to go ahead and flip this little switchy boy. Yeah, seems pretty cool, or pretty cool. Rad even. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, that is my cooling system upgrade for today. Let's see, next on the list is to go get that exhaust welded up, and then yeah, probably start this car after that. Then burp the coolant system and everything. Yes, I did remember the oil too. You know, never want to forget oil in a rotary, because that's kind of the lifeblood of it. But yeah, I'm pretty much done for right now. So yeah, later we'll take the exhaust, get it welded up and installed, and then go from there.
Several days later.
Okay, so I just finished getting my header welded up at D-Spare Garage, which is right over there in Clearfield. And well, here it is. Waiting on Uber to get home, and then once I get home I'll install it and go from there and hopefully start it up finally. So yeah, till then. Okay, so I'm now back and have the header mocked up in the car. Actually, just turn the camera around, and well, it's on the engine. Now the only thing left to do is jack up the intermediate pipe and see if it'll actually meet up. And looking at it from this angle, it looks like it should, but yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. Hope it does. Okay, so let's go and jack it up. Okay, so right here it's not perfectly lined up, but it might not be all the way on the engine either. So I'm gonna check that real quick. Yep, exactly like I thought. Well, it's not 100% perfect fit, but I can definitely make it fit and it will work. So yeah, I'll call this a win. So yeah, let's go and bolt it up now. Okay, so exhaust is finally installed, and boy, was it a pain in the dick to install. So let's show it installed now. So here it is at the engine, all nice and bolted up. That was easy. Down here was an absolute pain in the dick. Now, while it does actually fit, yeah, there's a lot of shit I had to do to actually make it fit. So up here at the top of the flange, it's kind of pinched, so it's really hard to get the let's see, what the fuck is it called? The gasket. It's hard to get the gasket up here into this little corner. Sorry, I can't really see, it's pretty dark down here. And then let's see, this screw, or this bolt, but on the top of it, I could not tighten it at all. So that's just gonna have to stay loose because I don't have anything that can actually reach it. It's size 14 bolts and nuts, and yeah, I don't have anything that can reach it. So yeah, just gonna have to hope for the best for that one, and then try to find something that I can actually tighten it with later, because there's just nothing I can actually squeeze in there. Yeah, there's no wiggle room whatsoever. But yeah, other than that, it's installed. It's a really tight fit, but it's in, so that's the important part. So next, I'm gonna get the car off jack stands. And then we'll start the car and see how she runs. Set the idle, and then tomorrow I'll probably set the timing to fine tune it. All right, so let's go ahead and start this bitch up. So last night was a little bit of a failure for starting the car. It turns out that my timing was way off, and I thought that I was just getting no spark, which made no sense because everything's exactly the same as it was in the car with the 13B, just with the 12A. But yeah, the timing was off. So according to the Haynes manual that I have, I just went through and set the timing according to that, or I guess I should say set a base timing. I'll see you later after I actually get it running, and maybe I'll actually drive it somewhere. Time it, fine tune it with the timing light, and then yeah, this car will be set to go. So let's go ahead and try to start it now and see what kind of results I get.
The next day.
I'm not exactly sure what I did. I've been fucking around with this since yesterday, and the car's running now. And there's a lot of question whether or not I had the wrong dizzy or whatever, but these are exactly the same. So this is supposedly off of the 12A, and this is the same one that I was using on the 13B. So there was a little bit of question whether or not the 13B one was compatible or not, but I guess it is. I mean, I looked at the gears, and they were exactly the same, and yeah, so I couldn't really figure that out. But the only thing that I did differently that I didn't try before was hooking the battery up to an external charger. And then, let's see, when I was trying to crank it on before, it was only showing like a 12.1 voltage. Then hooking it up to the charger put it up to about almost 13. So I cranked it over, it started right up. And then I had to turn it to dizzy a little bit to keep it running. And now it's running at a solid 1500 RPM. It's actually kind of high. Bring that down a little bit. And the smoke you're seeing, smoke you're seeing is off of the exhaust. So I don't think that's fully tightened. Shit, my hand's in the way. I think that might just be a little bit of unburnt fuel seeping through. So that probably just says that there's a leak right there. The exhaust. But yeah, there's a lot of fuel going through the engine, through the car from cranking and no start. But it's running now, so yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna focus this a little bit more and then try to get everything sorted from here. And then if the smoke stops, then take it for a test drive and see how she runs. And here's the other cool thing. The engine actually has oil pressure. Woo! The water temperature gauge isn't hooked up, but yeah, it actually has oil pressure. So that kind of tells me that this gauge is fully working the entire time, which I kind of learned the hard way after the 13B locked a bearing from no oil pressure. Oh, that oil was kind of hot. Oh well, it'll cool down. Whatever. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take it for a quick test drive around the neighborhood and see how it runs driving. Now, I don't have my my phone mount, otherwise I'd just record it up here. But yeah, I'll record a little bit of the phone just sitting down here, and then you can just listen to how it runs. Sorry, I know that kind of sucks, but yeah, this is my first drive since December in this car. And my wideband gauge is not hooked up yet. I still need to weld it into the exhaust, which will happen in another day. I don't know when. But right now, the car's running, and yeah, it's holding good oil pressure. Woo! Again, water gauge is not hooked up. I need to tap into the water system on this engine, because the way I had it hooked up on my 13B was hooked up into the FC water pump housing I installed on it. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't do that before, but oh well. Still have that gauge, so that's something. Alright, here we go. Well, that's not good. Something's going on with the clutch. I don't know what. Gotta figure that out.
2 days later.
Okay, so it's been a few days since that last clip, and I've just been asking questions on a few different RX-7 forums about what could be causing my issue of my trans not going into any gear while running. It goes into all gears just fine while not running, but while running it doesn't. Then when I press the clutch, let's see, with the car off, I press the clutch down, put it into gear, and then try to start. It tries to roll. So what that tells me is that the clutch is fully engaged 100% of the time. And there's a few different things that could be causing that. The pilot bearing could be seized to the input shaft, which even though there's a brand new pilot bearing in, it does make sense because this engine was ran for the last 4 years without a pilot bearing in the car it came out of. So, and it did look pretty fucked up before I installed the new bearing, so it's possible that bearing got fucked up during install
and then, you know, here we are. The other thing that could be causing it is the input shaft itself is too long for this engine. I'm using the same 76 to 78 RX-5 Cosmo trans with the 81 RX-7 FB12A that's in it now. So if it's touching the back of the E-shaft, then I'm going to have to shave about an 1/8 inch off. That's the fix that somebody else had to do to theirs, and it worked out just fine for them. The other possibility is that the throwout bearing could be too short and not pressing in the pressure plate enough. So for different model years of rotary vehicles, there's different length input shaft bearings. Not input shaft bearings, throwout bearings. I get my shit mixed up now. Bear with me. Puns, always fun. Anyway, if the throwout bearing is too short, it's not going to press in the pressure plate enough to disengage the clutch, which that would make sense too. But I'm not going to know any of this until I actually drop the trans and find out what's what. So in my next video, I'm going to drop the trans and figure that out. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end this video off now. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like what you see, then give it a thumbs down. Tell me I can improve in my videos in the comments below. And then follow me on Instagram at 6Talia0 or my Facebook, which is just my name. And then, yeah, till next time, see ya.